What's good, y'all? Welcome to Beauty Girl Magic. I'm Melissa Ray. Things I wish I knew before I locked my hair. I've had a long lock journey, guys. A very long lock journey. Well, let's see how long I've been locking my hair. It's been about 18 plus years. So it's been a long time in my book. So I've had my ups and downs when it comes to my hair. Truly. This video is more or less for those who are thinking about getting locks or just starting out, like the early stages. So if you're already a vet in the game, you already know what time it is. But I just wanted to look out for those who are pretty new, beginners, just new to the game and want some advice from an old head like me. So I jotted down some things that I wish I knew prior to locking my hair, or at least the early stages of locking my hair. Okay, so let's begin. So this was a mistake I made early in my lock journey. I wish I knew not to put leave-in conditioner on my hair. Now, when it comes to leave-in conditioner and locks, it's not really a good match. It can leave a lot of residue on your locks, which looks like a white film, which looks nasty. Even though it's not, it could be clean, but just the look of it is just like, ew, yuck. Yeah, I did that and I was like, this is not gonna work. So I've learned a trick. Instead of just taking a leave-in conditioner and just putting it all over my hair like I used to do, the best method for me is to water down the leave-in conditioner. So what I would do is I'll put it in a spray bottle. I'll put the leave-in conditioner, add water to water it down, and then I use a little bit of oil as well, and I shake it up and I spray it all over my roots and my hair. And that I find works better than just slapping on leave conditioner. I did a video on how to moisturize your locks the right way. So I will leave the link to that video if you want to see different ways to moisturize your locks, because I do feel like it is very important to moisturize your hair. So do not just go in with a leave-in conditioner. Locks has to be treated differently. It's not like your loose hair. You could do that if your hair is, loose, not locked up. Yeah, you could go in and put a leave conditioner on your loose hair, but once your hair is locked, it's a different ball game. So don't do that. If you want to use a leave-in, I suggest to water it down. Okay, so this next tip that I wish I knew from the beginning, because I didn't know, I was clueless. I was clueless at the beginning. Oh my gosh, I was so clueless. But I wish I knew that once your hair locks, it's a magnet for lint. Child. Yes. Your hair just attracts lint and it gets trapped up in your locks. Ooh, that makes me so mad. Like, seriously, it does. There's different ways to take lint out of your hair. I might do another video discussing that. If you guys want to know ways to take lint out of your locks. But yes, your hair is like a magnet to lint. It's like, you have to sit there and be like, oh dang, like mad lint, and sit there and take it out. Like, seriously, you do. There's no way to actually prevent it entirely. At least I don't know of a way to totally prevent lint from getting in your hair. But there are ways or things you can do to kind of lessen the problem. And that is to make sure you tie your hair at night, which I most definitely do every single night. If you don't like tying your hair up at night, with a scarf or putting on a bonnet, if you prefer to just have nothing on your head, like you one of those, well, then I recommend you get a satin pillowcase or something, because if you're just using the regular pillowcases, them cotton ones, and you're not wrapping your hair at night, like with a headscarf or put on a bonnet, your hair is going to be full of lint. So tying your hair up at night, putting on a bonnet, or sleeping with a satin pillowcase can help with that whole lint situation. And as your hair gets longer and it goes longer, it's like, okay, so hair trapping lint is only going to get worse. I'm sorry to break it to you, because when your hair is short and it's not rubbing up against your clothes, or if you got rocking a sweater and not rubbing up against your sweater, not like that, then you good, you know. But once your hair gets longer and longer, and most people got locks, they want their hair to grow. They don't want to just rock the short little locks on their head and that's it. They most likely, people want their hair to grow. So as it grows and it starts rubbing up on your clothes and things like that, it's going to pick up lint. It's going to pick up all kinds of stuff. But at the end of the day, like, there's no way to avoid it. So just to lessen the problem, there's only things you can do to lessen the problem. And I wish I knew that, because yeah, lint was very much an issue for me. Okay, so at the beginning of my journey, I wish I knew that, you know, I should still be washing my hair consistently. I thought that before my hair was locked, I thought that if I washed my hair, it would kind of like, you know, loosen up. And I mean, it kind of did. I'm not gonna front. Like when you wash your hair, it will loosen up. This is before it actually locks though. It will loosen up. It will loosen up whenever you wash your hair. So I used to go weeks without washing my hair. The type of scalp I got going on, my scalp hated me back then. I mean, my scalp was a hot mess. I have to wash my hair once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks if I'm pushing it. But I can't go a month, 2 months, 3 months without washing my hair. I know some people do it. In fact, I remember this one girl, she told me she washed her hair 4 times a year. I'm sorry, everyone's different. So she's able to go long periods of time without washing her hair. She's able to do it. I can't. So I guess do what works for you, but if you see that it's an issue, don't be like, well, you know, I'm trying to lock my hair. I ain't trying to wash my hair. No, don't put your scalp through that torture. I did that and it was the biggest mistake. So I wouldn't recommend to do that. Wash your hair as often as necessary. You know what I'm saying? If you find that your scalp is dry, flakes up, you have serious issues, scalp issues when you don't wash your hair consistently, well, please wash your hair, because them same flakes will get trapped up in your locks and it's not gonna look good. It's gonna be like, it's gonna look crazy. So don't be scared to wash your hair. So you shouldn't retwist your hair often, okay? And I'm gonna go into detail about that. And then on the opposite spectrum of that, you should not wait a long period of time to retwist your hair. All right, I'm gonna explain both. Okay, so as far as retwisting your hair, I wouldn't recommend to retwist often. And when I say often, maybe, and like I said, for everyone it's different, but you have to remember when retwisting your hair, you're putting tension to your scalp and your strands at the end of the day. Even when it's not locked, when it's locked, regardless of what stage you're in, every time you retwist your hair, you're putting tension on your scalp and hair at the end of the day. So if you're the type that want to retwist like so many times a week, I wouldn't recommend that, because I know some people like that neat look when you get a fresh retwist and you like that neat look. I mean, I like it too. But to try to achieve it all the time, that means you're retwisting your hair all the time. Me personally, I normally retwist my hair every 2 weeks. I find I'm the most comfortable that way. I can deal with the tension once every 2 weeks. And I mean, when I say tension, it's not like I'm in pain or agony when I retwist my hair, because it's not. But at the end of the day, you're still twisting, you're still pulling, you're still, you know, manipulating your hair, right? So at the end of the day, I'm comfortable every 2 weeks. Fine, when you retwist every week, there's no issues, then hey, keep doing what you've been doing. But if you find that your locks are thinning, you're losing your edges, your hairline is moving back and back and back, then slow down and do not retwist your hair that often. Point blank period. So you might have to do a little test run to see what works for you and then move on from there. On the other side, not retwisting your hair often can be an issue as well. And I wish I knew that. So I would go months without retwisting my hair. Now I couldn't imagine. But there was a time I went months and months without retwisting my hair. And that was due to me being lazy because I didn't retwist my own hair. I went to a professional. So I had a professional retwist my locks. And I would probably go once every 6 months or something like that. Something crazy because I never did it myself. Now I do, but back then, yeah, I was lazy. When I would go to her, because of all the new growth and it being somewhat matted, because it's not like within the 6 months I'm sitting there separating my locks. No. When I would go to her, she would have to do that. So I remember her using scissors, having to cut and break or literally break my locks to separate them. And that snapping of the locks, oh, I don't know. Let me tell you, it's just not a good look. Because imagine you have all this new growth and you have to sit there and separate each lock now. Because because the hair is they're trying to bond, okay? They're united. You have to try to separate them, you know what I'm saying? So it's and I ain't trying to have no freeform locks. That's not my style. So yeah, separate these bad boys, but the way she did it, she would either use a scissor to cut or snap them apart. And it's just have a middle ground, okay? Don't be retwisting your locks every 2 days, but then don't go 6 months without retwisting your locks. Let's come in the middle. And so I wish I knew that. Okay, another tip that I wish I knew at the very beginning is that as your hair grows, your hair gets thicker. The lock itself gets thicker. So keep that in mind whenever you start your locks. Okay, so you might have a desired look of what you want your locks to look like, right? You can have them small, real small, medium, or if you want large locks. Whatever your desired look that you want, just make sure that when you start off, you should start off small, but knowing that it's going to get bigger. The lock itself is going to get bigger. I didn't quite know that. I remember when I started my locks, I had a picture of Lauryn Hill. And I might show the picture what I'm talking about. But I was like, I want my locks to look like that. And so, of course, I went to a professional. There was a guy who did my locks. So when he did it, I looked and I was like, this looks small. This looked like really small. But I ain't saying nothing to him. I just let it be. As time went on and my hair started to lock and my hair started to grow, the lock itself definitely got bigger and expanded. So if you want really small locks, you have to start really small because it's going to get bigger. And if you want medium, same thing, start off small, it'll get bigger, and so on and so forth, because the lock itself, as the hair, wraps around itself on each lock, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger for the most part. And that's just the early stages. It's not going to continue to get bigger as long as you have locks. No. Prior to it locking, and then the stage when it actually starts to lock and form, that's when it starts to get bigger. And then after that, once it's fully locked, that's it. That's what you're working with. I wish I was more prepared for the ugly stage of locking. So what I did is, I was kind of embarrassed the way my hair looked during the ugly stage. And the ugly stage is when it's locking, when the lock starts to form. It's not fully locked, but it's getting there. They call that the ugly stage, right? And the only thing I did at that time was either throw on a head wrap, which is cool. You could do that. I wish I was more fashionable with my head wraps, like different fabrics and things like that, and make it look real nice. I didn't do all that, so I kind of wish I did that, but you know, it is what it is. And then if I wasn't wearing a head wrap, then I was rocking a wig, which is not bad. I'm not gonna say rocking a wig is bad. I'm not gonna say that, but I just wish I accepted my look, and styled my hair in its ugly stage. But because you can, like I see people on Instagram and Facebook, and they're going through where their hair is not fully locked, but they're still able to style their hair and make it look good. And I was just clueless. So I would say do a little bit of research, you know, go on Facebook. They got a lot of lock, Facebook groups. I'm a part of some. And even on Instagram, there's a lot of lock pages you can follow where you can see, you know, beautiful sisters and brothers, just even with their hair not fully locked, they're still able to style it and make it look so good. So see, back then, 18 years ago, we ain't had all that. But you can take advantage of that now. They even have lock extensions. See, we didn't have that. So you could even do that. So if you like, okay, I don't want to go through no ugly stage. I don't want my hair short and ugly. I want it long and pretty. You can go ahead and get lock extensions, and boom, there you go. That's just another thing that you can do. I didn't have that option back in the day, but it's available now. So another surprise to me, well, I don't know if it's a big surprise, but when you're starting off, your locks are not gonna look the same. They're gonna look all different. You're gonna have all different sizes, lengths. It's gonna be all different. And it used to bother me back then. Like, I would have a lock that looked way different from the rest, or one shorter than the other, or whatever the case may be. So you just have to be accepting of that, you know, and just know that in due time, it'll all come together. Okay, and the final tip for you guys, patience is key. Now, this might be a personal thing for me because I wasn't aware how long the process takes. And when I say the process, meaning from the time I started to, you know, lock my hair, my first appointment, getting the coils in my hair, because that's how I started. I started with coils. You could start with coils, 2-strand twists, or braids. Those are the ones I'm familiar with. So I started with coils and coiling my hair. And from the time I did that, the whole process, you know, of it looking the way it looked prior to locking, then, you know, when it started to lock, once the hair finally locks, your goal is growth. At least it was for me. Okay, my hair's locked. I got locks now. This is what's up. So now I just want my hair to grow now. Hurry, grow. You can't rush the process. It won't allow you. Everything takes time. Like, I mean, for the first year was like, whew, this is tedious. I want to look a certain way. I still had that picture of Lauryn Hill, like, I want to look like that. And I was nowhere near that. This is a year in. So it's like you have to have patience. And when I started, I had like this much hair because I cut all the perm off and all that other stuff and blah, blah, blah. So I didn't have much hair on my head to begin with. So you just have to let it be. I know people want to rush into it. And like I mentioned before, now there's a cheat code. So you could get those lock extensions that I mentioned earlier. But, you know, if you don't want to go that route, which I can understand, you don't want to put fake hair on your hair and then, because once you put the lock extension, that's it. You're stuck with it, right? So it's the fake hair mixed with your hair and it's just gonna, yeah, that's how it is. And so if you don't want to go that route, patience. Know that eventually your hair is going to look the way you want it to look. And I know it can be very difficult. I know it can be very frustrating. Trust me, because I've been there. I mean, most people have locks been there. They know what it is. So you just have to fall in line and just be patient. I remember looking at myself in the mirror one time and like, oh, wow. Okay, I'm finally here. Like, this is finally what I want to look like. This is finally what I want my locks to be. So I was doing all kind of styles and making my hair and just really proud of, you know, the accomplishment. Because once you reach that, you feel good. It's like, okay, we finally here, y'all. We made it. I was glad to a point where, okay, now it's getting too long. I need to cut. And I would cut. So yeah, you're going to get to that point. You trust me, you'll get there. But patience is key. Let me know what you think. Go ahead and like, comment, go ahead and do all that. And hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.